The class, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu, Prabhu.
How are you all, Prabhuji? How is Sugopi Mata?
She's doing good. She's doing good. We have missed you here.
Yeah, I'm here in Houston, but I haven't dared to come here to temple yet because of this
I
cold.
hope you had a good, enjoyable trip in India. Guru
Yes.
Maharaj said that you visited him. I had a talk with him, and he said you visited his ashram.
We had a wonderful time, and when we meet, we'll share some of the good things that what we have experienced during our trip.
Yeah, that would be wonderful, Prabhu.
You have to come home and hear that.
I have to come home to hear that.
Okay,
Yes.
so with this, I welcome all the listeners on this Zoom platform, and now I will pass on to Amit Prabhu for brief introduction of the Prabhuji, Srinivas Acharya Prabhuji, and then he can begin his class. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Over to you, Amit Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. Thank you, Harila Prabhu, for giving me this opportunity. Yeah, so Hare Krishna Prabhujis and Matajis, Danvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru and Gauranga. A very warm welcome and thank you very much to all of you for joining Partsarthi Foundation English classes. We are very fortunate that today we have His Grace Srinivas Acharya Prabhuji with us. He is going to give the lecture on topic developing determination. Although I am not eligible to speak anything about Prabhuji, but I will try my best to give a brief introduction about him. Srinivas Acharya Das Prabhuji is a disciple of His Holiness Hanumat Prisaka Swami Maharaj. From the time he got initiated in 2005, he served the mission of ISKCON in various capacities as the Bhakti Vriksha leader, Bhakti Shastri or administrator, Pujari, and as a director in the management board. He studied Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhav under the tutelage of His Holiness Hanumat Priksha Maharaj. He was trained in Sanskrit from BBT school in Vrindavan in 2013 when he quit his job and dedicated 6 months to learn Sanskrit in depth. He also assisted his spiritual master in developing the study guides for the online Bhakti Vaibhav programs. Prabhuji, if I made any mistake while giving your introduction, please forgive me and correct me. Let's welcome Prabhuji by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Now I am requesting Prabhuji to take over the call and provide us the nectar of today's topic. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for the introduction. Actually, I'm not so qualified. I see here lots of great senior devotees who, in practice, are very, very advanced devotees. So I just seek blessings from their lotus feet. I see Harlila Prabhu, Ramapati Prabhu, Bhavamai Mataji, so many Gopinath Prabhu. These are all the devotees who I aspire to become like them. Okay, so today's topic is about determination. I will briefly sing Jai Radha Madhava and start. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jai Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jai Prabhupada 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 Shri Radha Madhava Shri Sakhi Vrinda ki jai, Shri Shri Gaunita ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mokam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanyam Ishwaram. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I'm gonna share my screen. I have a presentation. Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is about developing determination. So we will look at what is determination, specifically what Krishna says about determination in the Bhagavad Gita, and what can we do to attain determination. And we will take one story from Srimad Bhagavatam about determination, and we'll see what lessons we can learn from that example, from that story from Srimad Bhagavatam. So first of all, what is determination? This word determination comes up many times while reading the scriptures, or even in different success stories of different individuals. We may see this word determination, or sometimes we may even see this quality in demons as well. They may be very determined to do particular things. So we'll first look at what is determination. So some of the words used for describing determination in Sanskrit, nishchaya, dhriti, sometimes you may see sankalpa, so are dhrida-vrata. They may all be translated as determination. And English synonyms are fortitude, resolution, tenacity. So besides the word determination, these are some of the words that are used to describe this word determination. And you may see particularly this word fortitude and resolution in the Bhagavad Gita translation and purports as well. So let us look at how in the modern world they describe determination, which matches with what we examine in different stories in Srimad Bhagavatam and other Vedic literature. So there's one book called Handbook of Positive Emotions. And in that book, determination is described like this. Determination is a positive emotional feeling that involves persevering towards a difficult goal in spite of obstacles. So we have a goal to achieve, and we move on that goal. We try to work towards that goal, even when there are a lot of problems and obstacles that may actually discourage us to move forward, but we overcome those and we continue to attain that goal. We continue to do activities that help in attaining that goal. So this is the description of what determination is. So now determination is used often as a quality in the Bhagavad Gita. So there are two places I picked from where this determination is described. One is in chapter number 16 of the Bhagavad Gita. This chapter is titled as Divine and Demoniac Qualities, Daiva Asura Sampatti Yoga. So in the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, first 3 verses talk about the divine qualities, and the rest of the chapter, most of the rest of the chapter is pretty much talking about the demoniac qualities. And in these divine qualities described in first 3 verses, the qualities of a sannyasi, grihastha, vanaprastha, brahmachari, and so these are the 4 ashramas and the 4 varnas, brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra. These qualities that are given are actually distributed amongst these different varnas and ashramas. What I mean by that is, it doesn't mean that others should not have these qualities when it is attributed to a particular varna, but they are prominently attributed to a particular varna or particular ashrama. For example, fearlessness, all of us should work for fearlessness, but it is specifically for sannyasis, like that. So when it comes to determination, it's part of other qualities that are described, 3 qualities actually, teja, kshama, dhriti. These 3 qualities are for kshatriyas. And the word dhriti, in the previous slide we have seen the one not previous, but the one before. The Sanskrit words are dhriti and nishchaya. So here you can see in the Bhagavad Gita this word dhriti, teja, kshama and dhriti. Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan explains that these are the qualities predominantly found in kshatriyas. So dhriti is the quality of determination, and a kshatriya particularly is expected to have this quality of determination. And also in the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, verse number 43, again the qualities of kshatriya are described. Shauryam tejo dhritil dakshyam yuddhe chapya palayanam dhanam ishvara bhavascha kshatram karma swabhavajam. So when describing the qualities of kshatriya, Krishna talks about shauryam, teja and dhriti. Dhriti means again determination. So we can see here in both contexts determination is used for kshatriyas. But it doesn't mean only kshatriyas should have determination. Actually, a brahmana also has determination for a higher purpose. So we will see further how determination is described in the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna explains that there are 3 kinds of determination depending on the 3 modes of material nature. There are 3 modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Goodness means sattva guna, passion is rajoguna, and ignorance is tamoguna. So I see, I guess the participants here are familiar with the Bhagavad Gita, so I will not go into the details of those 3 gunas. But here we'll particularly talk about determination in relationship with those 3 gunas. So when describing the determination in Tamoguna, Krishna explains like this: Yaya swapnam bhayam shokam vishadam madamevacha navimunchati durmedha dhritissa parthatamasi. That determination which cannot go beyond dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, moroseness, and illusion, such unintelligent determination, O son of Pritha, is in the mode of darkness. So here it's explaining, we have these daydreamers, they hope that something is going to happen. They're going to win a lottery. They don't want to work hard, but they do want to become rich. They do want to become powerful, famous, and all these things. But there's just no drive, no impetus to do anything. And what do? They just dream. They dream about becoming great. You write it, I'm going to become a millionaire, and you stick it on the wall, and that's it. You don't do anything about it. And here you see this guy, he has lots of books, he has to study, going to school, but he's just dreaming. I'm going to work hard, I'm going to get first grades, I'm going to get campus interviews, selected, and I'm going to make a lot of money. And that's it. Right? It doesn't go beyond dreaming. And sometimes there's fearfulness, there's fear to do anything. You don't want to apply for jobs, you don't want to talk to people, but you hope that you'll get the best job. You're just afraid to make contacts. And there's also another feature in this determination is it's unintelligent. Durmedha, Krishna says. There's no medas, there's no intelligence. Unintelligent. And we see sometimes this kind of determination in us as well. Oh, I wake up one day and I'll become a pure devotee. I'll be singing with so much love and devotion. All the scriptures will be revealed to me. I'll be doing lots of service and it just happens, right? I'll be pure devotee tomorrow. But we don't want to take any practical steps to get there, just dreaming. Or we'll just lament, oh, I should have done that. Like if my parents had taught me when I was 3 years old, I would have become a great devotee. We just lament that something did not happen, but we don't do anything about it. Or we're always depressed. I'm a bad devotee. I'm just good for nothing, and just morose all the time. So these are the symptoms of determination in the mode of ignorance. And next one, determination in the mode of passion. Yaya tu dharma kamarthan dhritya dharayate Arjuna prasangena phalakankshi dhritissa partharajasi. But that determination by which one holds fast to fruitive results in religion, economic development, and sense gratification is of the nature of passion, O Arjuna. In here you see dharma, kama, artha. These are the purusharthas. When there is wedding, at least in South India, in the Telugu states, when there's wedding, the priest will make us recite this that in dharma, artha, kama, moksha will be together with each other, wife and husband. But we see wife and husband are together, they're only interested in dharma, kama, and artha. They don't even know that there's something called moksha and what is moksha. Hardly people practice religion. If they do practice, they want to come to holy places for some, do some activity so that I can get some artha. I practice dharma to get some artha, to get some material benefits. And using those benefits, I'll do kama, I'll enjoy. So they may be sometimes determined to do that. They may come to temple, and I have seen over the years, people may come and they may do like say 108 pradakshinas every single day without fail for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. I had one person, he heard from somebody that if he offers yogurt to Krishna every single day, then the girlfriend would say yes to marriage, or the girl would like him, and he did it, and guess what, it happened. Okay, so he was determined every single day without fail, go do it. It works. But that kind of determination is of the nature of passion. And however, it can be used for further progress. We'll talk about that. Now, determination in the mode of goodness. Dhrityayaya dharayate manapranendriya kriyaha yogena vyabhicharinya dhritissa partha satviki. O son of Pritha, that determination which is unbreakable, which is sustained with steadfastness by yoga practice, and which thus controls the activities of the mind, life, and senses, is determination in the mode of goodness. So in here, you can see that in this kind of determination, there's something special in this verse. What is that? Yogena avyabhacharinya. There's an element of yoga in the determination in the mode of goodness. And this is avyabhicharinya yoga. unbreakable. This is this determination is unalloyed. It is very strong. And this is Satviki. And of course, determination means we kind of continue, right? We kind of continue with that activity. But the continuation of the ignorance guy is just dreaming. He continues to dream. One day I'll become rich, right? In the mode of passion, always the motivation is sense gratification. And they may succeed a lot of times in the mode of passion. So now we will see how to attain this determination. Like, okay, there is Avyabhicharinya yoga. It's sustained by yoga practice. So we'll see some of the details that are involved in attaining this determination. So if we want to perform yoga, of all the yogas, the highest yoga is what? Bhakti yoga. In the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna explains, tapasvi bhyodiko yogi. A yogi is greater than a tapasvi. Jnani bhyopi matam mama. He is greater than even a jnani, empiricist. He is greater than an ascetic. He is greater than empiricist. And karmibhyopi adhiko yogi. And yogi is greater than even a karmi. Tasmat from yogi bhava Arjuna. Arjuna, therefore you become a yogi. A yogi is greater than ascetic, empiricist, and a fruity worker. What is that yogi? And the word yogi is used in the Bhagavad Gita by its own standalone. Usually it is Bhakti yogi. Why? Because right in the next verse in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mataha. After saying that a yogi is greater than an ascetic, empiricist, and a fruity worker, he says, but amongst all the yogis, Yoginam api sarvesham. The greatest yogi is that one who within him is worshipping the Supreme Lord. But Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yoma. With lot of shraddha, faith, is engaged in worshipping of Sri Krishna. And that person is the topmost yogi. So when we say in the mode of goodness, it is characterized by this steadfastness in yoga. It means his goal is Krishna. The determination is to ultimately to achieve Krishna. But sometimes we say, yes, we want to do it, but it's difficult. I want to go to temple, but I wake up in the morning and I'm just lazy. I just engage myself in other activities and then I'm not able to do it. And some of the reasons why we don't have determination is because Krishna says, Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dhridavrata. If we want to become dhridavrata, we should be free from sinful activities. As long as we are engaged in sinful activities, the determination for bhakti will not come. Sometimes people say, okay, it's good. I like that you go to temple, you do this thing, but do both things. Go to movies on Saturday and temple on Sunday. Take prasadam on one day and go to bar another day. Right? So people have this. I'm both modern and I'm also traditional. They sometimes brag about this. I'm traditional, I do this, but I'm also modern, I do these other things. And in their opinion, modern means sinful activities, but it doesn't need to be like that. Modern can be without sinful activities as well. So, but sinful activities, they're detrimental for spiritual advancement. And sinful activities means eating meat, alcohol, illicit sex, gambling, and things that are prohibited by the scripture. So when we are engaged in those, determination will be weak. It will not be strong. And Prabhupada also explains some specific things as well. We'll see here. In a book called The Path of Perfection, And this book contains also content from the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So there Srila Prabhupada explains, as stated before, this determination can be attained only by one who does not indulge in sex. Celibacy makes one's determination strong. Therefore, from the very beginning, Krishna states that the yogi does not engage in sex. If one indulges in sex, one's determination will be flickering. Therefore, sex life should be controlled according to the rules and regulations governing the Grihastha Ashrama. So the point is, at least particularly in this Western world, this, the idea of marriage is not so much appreciated. People don't get married for a long time, but they don't remain celibate. But whereas in the Vedic culture, one must be celibate. Sex life is permitted only in the Grihastha Ashrama. Properly get married and use it in a dharmic way for creating nice children whom we can train to become great devotees, great yogis. So celibacy is important. Now it just doesn't just mean physical celibacy, but we should create our environment in such a way that we should not watch these mundane things, mundane movies and mundane television that promote these things. The modern world is in such a way that you take even cartoons for a 5-year-old. They must put some romance in that. And you go to college, and I have seen, my daughter, when she went to college, she took a Spanish class, and the Spanish teacher asked us, write an essay on as if you're writing on a dating website, how you describe yourself on a dating website so you can get a good date. This is the essay in the class. In a language class, you could see how the world has become. So even in a subtle way, there's so much distraction for people to practice celibacy. But here Krishna is saying that celibacy actually helps in developing determination. This is very important, particularly for young people, is to practice this celibacy so that they can be determined in accomplishing their goals. When celibacy is practiced, their memory power is really sharp. They can remember a lot of things. That's why young children can remember a lot of things, because they don't have these contaminated thoughts in their mind. So further, some more things Krishna says, one should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination and faith and not be deviated from the path. One should abandon without exception all material desires born of mental speculation and thus control all the senses on all sides by the mind. So in here we see, I highlighted this mental speculation. So these are the activities of the mind. Meaning for determination, mind has to be in proper control. And the word Krishna uses for determination here is nishchaya, nishchayena, with firm determination. And I'll talk about a little bit more about the mind. So gradually, step by step, one should become situated in trance by means of intelligence sustained by full conviction. The Sanskrit words are buddhya dhriti grihitaya. And thus the mind should be fixed on the self alone and should think of nothing else. Of course, this is the process of description of Ashtanga Yoga, but we have parallels in the Bhakti Yoga. Whereas in Ashtanga Yoga, you're sitting in one place and trying to practice dhyana, dharana, samadhi, and all these things by pretty much negating in the practice of renunciation. But in the Bhakti Yoga, we have a positive process where you engage all your senses actively instead of pratyahara, instead of withdrawing our senses from sense objects. In the Bhakti, there's actually engagement. This is called yukta. Yukta means to engage. Instead of pratyahara, we do the opposite actually. We engage the senses, but in the service of the Lord. And that way, we actually advance in a faster way and in a more practical way. So in this 625 verse, I have highlighted intelligence sustained by full conviction as well as The mind should be fixed on the self alone. So from these things, what we see, the two important factors in determination are the mind and intelligence, manas and buddhi. Now, the function of intelligence has 5 functions, which is doubting, wrong comprehension, right comprehension, memory, and sleep. These are the 5 functions of the mind. Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, I believe chapter 26, verse number 30. Krishna explains, Kapila Dev explains, incarnation of Krishna, that these are the 5 functions of intelligence. And Nishchaya means right comprehension. See, when there is something, initially we have doubt. Somebody says something. What is this? Bhagavad Gita. Where did it come from? A little bit of doubt. And sometimes we may even misunderstand. Oh, if you read Bhagavad Gita, then there'll be fighting between brothers. If you have a picture of Krishna, Arjuna, the chariot, brothers will fight. Superstition. Somehow somebody made this up, right? So you have some wrong understanding. Or you think if you have Bhagavad Gita, you leave your wife and go away, you'll become sannyasi. So they have these miscomprehensions. So this is also, so means intelligence is not working properly. And then Nishchaya. Nishchaya means you understand things in the right perspective. So in order to have right determination, we need to have right comprehension, right understanding, right intelligence. And the function of the mind is sankalpa, vikalpa, and from that comes kama. Means the mind thinks about something and thinks about different variations, and through that comes a desire. A desire will take birth. Like suppose you go somewhere, you see something and then you think about it. The more you think about it, then desire will develop. Oh, I saw this nice Tesla car, electric car. Oh, I want to know a little bit more about Tesla. Oh, it doesn't, it's an electric car, you can save some money, this and that. Okay. So now that contemplation, it turns into karma, into desire. So these are the activities of the mind. So the mind has to take the sankalpa, the will, sometimes even that sankalpa itself is translated as determination, because the desire is coming from the mind. Intelligence will help you to say, yes, Bhagavad Gita is good. That is the function of intelligence. But I want to read Bhagavad Gita. That is the function of the mind. That is called willing. So these 2 elements must be properly used. So the more our mind becomes strong, the more our intelligence becomes strong, we have proper tools to have determination. But then how do we make the mind strong? How do we make the intelligence strong? So I said intelligence need to comprehend things in a right perspective, and that comes from hearing from scriptures. The more we hear from scriptures, the more our intelligence becomes sharp. And by using that, we can have strong determination. And the more the mind is engaged in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the more the mind will have good desires, positive desires. So we can use these 2 things. So now I will talk a little bit about the story of Dhruva Maharaj for the next 10 minutes, and then we'll see some lessons from that. So Dhruva Maharaj, he is grandson of Lord Brahma. The beginning of creation, Brahma created a male and female, Manu and Swayambhu Manu and Shatarupa. And they had 5 children, 3 girls and 2 boys. And 2 boys are Uttanapada and Priyavrata. And Uttanapada had 2 sons from 2 different wives. One from Suruchi, his youngest wife, he had Uttama. And from Suniti, the eldest one, he had Dhruva. So Dhruva is older than Uttama. So in this picture, you see, the boy standing is Dhruva, and the boy in the lap of the mother is carrying, and that boy is Uttama. So, and Queen Suruchi, so what happened is in this story, most of you probably already know this story, but I want to point out about certain elements of this story. So Dhruva, this Uttama, youngest boy, he was playing on the lap of his father, Uttanapada. And as is natural with children, one child does something, other children also, they want to also take part in the same activity. So Dhruva also he goes, Papa, Daddy, I'm going to get on you. And then he was going to get on, and his father was kind of also, in his heart, he was trying to get, and then the mother interrupted. Suruchi, the younger queen, who is the favorite of the king. And she said, Dhruva, stop. My dear child, you do not deserve to sit on the throne or on the lap of the king. Surely you are also the son of the king. But because you did not take your birth from my womb, you are not qualified to sit on your father's lap. She stops. You cannot sit on your father's lap or the throne. In order to be qualified for that, you have to actually take birth from my womb, she says, my dear son. So she says, actually, from my womb, if you take birth from my womb, then you can sit. That's the only way. So Dhruva really gets offended. He's a Kshatriya boy. And Dhruva is angry. But when you're angry, but when you're helpless, what do? We just cry. We cry. So Dhruva is crying, but at the same time, he's a Kshatriya boy. He saw there's some injustice. Kshatriyas cannot tolerate injustice. This is wrong. Therefore, he's so angry, and he's trembling. His lips are trembling, and he's actually biting his lips. And there's tears in his eyes, and he's looking at his father, hoping, right? This is what children do. When somebody is mean, they look at somebody, maybe their older brother or somebody, hoping that they'll help. So when Dhruva looked at the father, guess what? His father didn't say anything. He didn't took him on his lap. He didn't put his hand on his head, nothing. He didn't stop his Dhruva's stepmother. And guess what? And Dhruva was more, he became so sad. His sadness increased. And he just left the place and he ran to his mother. And by this time, others already told his mother, because this is happening in a palace, and two different queens, and they both have their maid servants, and somehow from Suniti's team of well-wishers, the news has already gone to the mother. So Dhruva went and told the mother. The mother said, my dear son, don't wish for anything inauspicious for others. Anyone who inflicts pains upon others suffers himself from that pain. So she's saying, if someone is mean to you, actually that person will suffer more than the suffering that is given to you. It itself, their action itself is detrimental for that person. When somebody is mean to someone, that mean action is very detrimental to the person who is mean. That means his heart is becoming polluted and dirty. And she says, my dear boy, whatever has been spoken by Suruchi, your stepmother, although very harsh to hear, is factual. And actually, Suruchi says, other than saying, you have to take, unless you take my birth from my womb, you cannot sit on the lap. She also says, and in order for that to happen, you have to worship the Supreme Lord. If you had his mercy, you would have taken birth from my womb and you could have sat. So she invokes, she also, says that it's the mercy of the Lord that my son can sit and you cannot. So therefore she's saying, although she was harsh, she was correct. Therefore, if you desire at all to sit on the same throne as your stepbrother, Uttama, then give up your envious attitude and immediately try to execute the instructions of your stepmother. Without further delay, you must engage yourself in worshipping the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And mother says, I'm helpless. The king doesn't like me. But if Krishna wants, it will happen. So therefore, don't waste your time. Just take shelter of Krishna. He will help you. So this is ideal mother. she's guiding so nicely her son. And then Dhruva, what happens? He just leaves the home without telling anybody. He just leaves the home. And everybody is looking, where is Dhruva? Where is Dhruva? The king is feeling bad, but Dhruva has already left. And the word goes to Narada Muni that Dhruva had left his house. Before that, he asked his mother, how can he get a kingdom greater than his grandfather, great-grandfather? His mother told him he has to please Krishna, and Dhruva took it seriously and he left the house. He's nowhere to be found. And you get this alert, right? Amber alert, child missing. So Uttanapada sent this alert all over the place and they couldn't find him anywhere. Narada Muni, word goes to Narada Muni. And Narada Muni feels happy. He goes to this boy, hey, Dhruva, what are you doing here? And of course, in those days, Narada Muni used to go to different places, to king's places. So Dhruva must have known Narada Muni because he must have seen him in his father's palace. Oh, Narada Muni, my obeisances to you. So what are you doing here, Dhruva? Narada Muni, you know what happened? My stepmother, she was so mean. And my mother told me that if I please Krishna, Krishna will fulfill my desire. Oh, what is your desire? I want a kingdom greater than my grandfather and great-grandfather. I want to show to my stepmother Suruchi that in this life itself I can get. She said I cannot unless I take birth from her womb. But I will prove she's wrong. What she said is unjust. And even my dad did not help me. It was so bad. And Narada Muni says, calm down, Dhruva. You know what? You're a little child. You're only 5 years old. And do you know where you are? Look at this forest. It's a deep forest. And hold on for 5 seconds. Do you hear that voice? Those are jackals. There'll be tigers and lions and snakes, scorpions. It's very scary out here. You should not come here. Come on, and also you're a little child, you know. Sometimes people will say something, but little children, forget about it. Go home and eat something nice and play with your friends. Just forget about it. And when you grow up, then we can talk about all these things. You know, even great yogis, they are trying to do from hundreds and thousands of years. They cannot see Krishna. You're a little child. So right now, you know, out of, childish anger, you're feeling like this. And Dhruva says, no. I'm serious about it. I want to do it. I'll tell you one more thing, Dhruva. Actually, there's a quality called quality of forgiveness. And if you forgive, it's good for you. And Dhruva says, well, Narada Muniji, I think you're right. I know you're a great saint. But you know what? I'm still feeling that I should have justice. Even though what you're saying is truth. Because I have taken birth in a Kshatriya family and I have this Kshatriya mood, Kshatriya attitude. And what I'm trying to do is not wrong anyways. I want justice. And because my father couldn't give me justice, my mother said, Krishna will give justice. So therefore, I want to see Krishna, talk to him and get justice and get bigger kingdom. Can you please help me? And Narada Muni says, okay, Dhruva, what you're saying is right. And Dhruva says, I don't want to do anything wrong. I just want righteous means to get my desires fulfilled. Can you please help? And Narada Muni says, yes, Dhruva, I'll help you. And Narada Muni gives him Dvadashakshari mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And he tells him how to worship the deity, how to make a form of the deity from the mud, from the bank of Yamuna river, in the forest of Madhuvana. So you make a deity like this, and you offer fruits, offer water, you take bath 3 times a day, and he gives him entire process of deity worship, chanting the mantras, practicing austerities. And then says, Dhruva, you have any questions? And Dhruva will ask questions, and Narada Muni answers. If this is the process, you follow. And Dhruva says, yes. And he starts chanting the mantras and performing austerities. And for first month, he eats just the berries and other fruits every 3rd day. 2 days fasting, 3rd day eating fruits. That's month 1. And in the 2nd month, he just eats grass and dry leaves. From fruits, it came to leaves. And that too, every 6 days in a month. That means in the entire month, he ate like about 4 times or something. And then in the 3rd month, he started only drinking water, no eating, and every 9 days. And in the 5th month, he would take a breath. And after that breath, he'll hold that breath for 12 days and take another breath. So in the entire month, he took like 2 breaths. And in the 6th month, stopped the breathing as well. And he was standing on 1 leg. Oh boy, this, Dhruva's austerity was so powerful. And he was intensely chanting, meditating on Vasudeva. And then the entire universe started becoming suffocated. And the demigods, the controllers of all the senses, their senses stopped functioning. They becoming suffocated. They ran. What's happening? Ran to Brahma, and Brahma took them to Vishnu. They all offered prayers to Vishnu. Oh my Lord, what's happening? And the demigods prayed, dear Lord, we feel all living entities to be suffocating, their breathing process choked up. Please help, save us from this danger. And Krishna says, don't worry. My devotee Dhruva is performing severe austerities and has gained so much Shakti that you're feeling the impact of his great austerities. I will go and fulfill his desires. I will stop him from doing these austerities. So then Lord Vishnu appeared. And Dhruva actually, in his meditation, he was seeing Vishnu. And all of a sudden, he stopped seeing Vishnu in his meditation. Then he opened eyes. What happened? Where did he go? And guess what? He's standing right in front of him. And when Dhruva saw, he immediately paid Dandavat Pranams. But he was only 5 years old. His education was not fully complete. His Sanskrit was not fully complete. So he couldn't compose prayers. But he was embarrassed. He heard that when Krishna comes, you have to offer prayers. But Narada Muni taught him Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So he's been saying that, but he also wanted to say other things, but he didn't have intelligence. So Lord Vishnu took his conch shell and put it on the head of Dhruva. And immediately Dhruva got this knowledge and he started offering beautiful prayers to Vishnu. And then Lord Vishnu said, Dhruva, I'm really happy with you. And I came to give you something. What do you want? And Dhruva says, oh my Lord, I was desiring something. Sthana bilashi tapasi stitoham tvam praptavan deva munindra guhyam kachan vichinvan vapi divya ratnam swamin kritarthosmi varam nayache. Hey Swami, kritarthosmi, I am satisfied. Varam nayache, I don't want any boon, any benediction. I was looking for a great position, great kingdom. Sthanabilashi, and because of that, tapasistitoham, I performed this austerity. But now, and I was looking for kachan vichinvan. I was searching for a broken piece of glass. But tvam divyaratnam praptavan, I attained this great jewel. And who is that? Divyaratnam, you, tvam praptavan, I attained you. Deva munindra guhyam, you are not attainable even to great devas, great sages. but you, out of mercy, I attained you, my Lord. Once I have you, what do I need? Let's go. I want to go with you. Said, Dhruva, where do you want to go? I want to go with you. No, you can't go. You have to stay here. Why? Well, Dhruva, I'll give you what you asked for. Actually, even now, as soon as you go back home, you will get the kingdom and you will rule this entire planet for 36,000 years. And after that, I have a special place for you called Dhruvaloka. It is more powerful even than Lord Brahma's. Your great-grandfather is Brahma. His planet, Brahmaloka, will be destroyed at the time of annihilation. But your Dhruvaloka will not be. And I'll give you, I saved it for you. That is for you. So you will go there after these 36,000 years. But my Lord, I don't want to be here. I'll be falling victim of Maya. Don't worry. You will be pure devotee. You will be okay. And I will, after that, you will come to me. So he blesses him like that. I have another story, but I'll skip this story. I'll go to the lessons. Okay. So from this, what we can learn, Dhruva, what did his mother tell him? My dear son, don't be envious of anybody. Even if someone is envious of you doing something to you, they themselves will suffer for that action. But you don't keep anything bad in your heart. So she told him not to wish anything bad for stepmother or for her brother, for his brother, but you get what you want in a righteous way. And Dhruva took guidance. When we want to do something, we have to seek guidance of those who are more advanced than us, of superiors, of elders, of teachers. And in that process, we may get some tests. Narada Muni tested Dhruva. Go home. Do it later. Why now? Right? In so many ways, he tried to dissuade him. But Dhruva passed the test. He did not get distracted. He was very focused. And also Dhruva, he wanted bona fide ways to get his desires fulfilled. Sometimes we want shortcuts. But Dhruva said, give me a righteous means to attain my goal. So we should find authorized ways. At my company, they hired one vice president, and within a few days after hiring, he was fired. The reason was he was caught. The Stock Exchange Commission found that he engaged in what's called insider trading in a previous company, that the previous company was going to acquire another company, and that information was secret. And as soon as that news goes out, then stocks will go up. So what he did is he gave that news to his relatives even before the purchase was made, and the relatives bought the company stocks. And then after the purchase happened, the stock price went up. So they sold the stocks, they got a lot of money. So when they found out that this was wrong, because the executives, they have to sign a document saying they will not reveal confidential information to others. So he did in a wrong way. So he was sent to prison. So his career was ruined. So sometimes people may be determined to do things, but in a wrong way. But Dhruva wanted authorized way. And we have to be steady on our path. Dhruva had a schedule. Every 3 days, I'm going to do this. Every 6 days, I'm going to do this. So we have to also, not just desiring will not help. We should have proper schedule and follow that schedule. And then one thing is, God helps those who help themselves. When we try, even impossible things becomes possible by the mercy of God. Because Krishna likes those who are righteous and who are determined in doing their things. When Prabhupada came to this country, he just said, I'm dependent on you, my Lord. I'm your puppet. And 70-year-old elderly gentleman, and he did what he did because of his determination and faith in Krishna. So this faith is very important. So that's all I have. I think I took probably the full hour. Any questions, comments from any of the assembled devotees?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very excellent presentation on the subject matter of developing determination. And of course, as a sadhaka, practicing devotee, we need to develop this quality of determination so we can advance in our spiritual life. Prabhuji, if you have some time left, then can we take some questions from the devotees if they
Yes,
have
sure.
some inquiries? Okay.
Sure, Prabhu.
I will request Amit Prabhuji, please take the questions from the listeners. Hare Krishna to you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Yeah. So, if anybody has any questions related to today's topic or today's class on determination, please raise your hands, unmute yourself, and ask the questions to Prabhuji. We have Mihika. So let me unmute her. Mihika, please unmute her and go ahead with your question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you very much for the class. I learned a lot about determination and also in Dhruva's story. So Prabhuji, you said like the 5 functions of the mind. So can you repeat those?
Yeah, I said 5 functions of intelligence. So intelligence, one of the function is doubting. Okay, if someone comes and says, Mehika, you eat this, this is very nice, and some stranger will come. Now, what do? A stranger will come to you, give you something to eat in school.
I would doubt them.
You doubt them because you're like, well, I don't know who this person is, and I don't know what's in it, right? So that's a sign of intelligence. And sometimes some people may say, oh, I'm going to eat it because chocolate is nice and stuff without thinking these things. Then that means they made a wrong choice. That is called wrong comprehension, misapprehension. They understood it in a wrong way. The intelligence made a decision in a wrong way. Now you said you will not eat, you doubted it, and you have reasons to doubt. And you had those reasons because mother told me we should not take things from strangers because sometimes people make you eat, you faint, and they kidnap you. So your intelligence will you make a right decision. So making a right decision is called nishchaya. That is also a function of intelligence. And also memory, when you memorize something and they are going into your intelligence. Okay, memory is also a function of intelligence. And finally, sleep. So without proper sleep, your intelligence will not function. Suppose if you stay late until 12 and you start talking things like, crazy things, your mom will say, you got to sleep now. So no, mom, yeah, I'm okay. But the mom will know that you're becoming crazy. Your intelligence is not working. So sleep is also required for good intelligence. So we need to get proper sleep. These are the 5 functions of intelligence. Good question.
Prabhuji, I only got 4, like doubting, making right decisions.
Making wrong decisions.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And memory and sleep.
Yes.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anyone else has any other question? So I think Prabhuji, the class is like whatever explanation you have given, that is pretty straightforward, and the way you showed us with the PPT slides and that examples, it is very straightforward. And I do think that all are as you already said in the like initially in the class, that all are like all the devotees are very much higher in these things, so they already know about the dedication and the class they understood. But for my sake, Prabhuji, I have very small question, that when we say dedication itself is a very small word, but to achieve that dedication, it will like require a lot of courage, lot of stamina, and lot of like you say that itself dedication is itself like a lot of dedication you needed for that one. And as I understood what you said, that it will come gradually, but you have to be determined, or you have to work dedicatedly towards to achieve the determination. So that, like you said, that one is that we have to chant thoroughly, we have to dedicate everything for Krishna. But if we like see as a, like I am a very like low level person in that case, so if we chant also, even our mind gets distracted here and there, and then we have to pull it back, and then again after a few minutes it goes away. So even in chanting Mahamantra, we are not able to determine, or we are not able to dedicate. Then means I'm just curious that how we will make that mind constant or mind dedicated, at
Yeah.
least in Mahamantra, chanting Mahamantra.
Yeah, it's a very good question. And I think all of us are trying to improve our chanting all the time. And there are many devotees also have written books on this topic. In a summary form, what I would say is, it's better to chant in the association of devotees, even either physically or even in virtual mode. And also do it in the morning before you do other tasks. And sometimes keeping a log helps, like, okay, today I finished these many rounds by this time. So Krishna says, abhyasena vairagyena. So besides this abhyasa, we should also do vairagya. What is it that is detrimental for my chanting? Right? I need to be detached from those things. What activities am I doing that are not conducive to my proper chanting the holy names, right? So we should identify those and also stay away from those practices like Krishna, we have seen in the today's class also, particularly if there are any sinful activities or if there are any activities that are not good for us, that are not good for us, we should try to avoid them. And sometimes they may be as simple as maybe you're going to sleep late at night and therefore you're waking up late and therefore it's doing the other things, right? So we should identify the negative aspects of it as well and then avoid those negativities. So in a simple, that's a simple answer, but there's a lot more for chanting.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. So I don't see any other hand raised. So if you allow, and if Hari Leela Prabhu allow, shall we wind up this call?
Yes, Prabhuji. So,
Yeah, Prabhuji, go ahead, please. Okay, so yes, thank you very much, Prabhuji, for coming in the Partsarthi English classes and give us a very wonderful and nectarian class. Hope you will come like frequently in our classes very often, and we will like hear from your voice the Shuddhwani. So thank you very much, Prabhuji. Vancha kaltru vishche kapasandu patita nam pavne Vaishnavebhyo namah.
गोविंद की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, His Grace Srinivas Acharya Prabhu ji ki jai. Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu ji, for a very nectarian class. Hari Hari Bol, Prabhu ji. Thank you so much. Please try to come, Prabhu ji, once in a month, at least, Prabhu ji, once in a month. We really need your association. So please give some opportunity to us also to hear you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.